being said, let's dive into the actual presentation, and here is what we are going to cover today, all right? So first and foremost, I'm going to show you how to take your greatest interest, passion, or area of expertise in life and turn it into a really simple, profitable lifestyle business. And I'm going to show you how to do that by building a huge list of email subscribers who are passionate about the same problems and challenges that you are. I'm going to show you how marketing professionals like myself will build our list to 100,000 people or more extremely fast, within the case of months, if not a year at the most, and do it without spending a dime out of our pockets, so you can learn how to do the same thing. And if that sounds too good to be true, I totally understand, but I can assure you that it is absolutely not, and I'm going to show you exactly how that is done here today. Now, on top of that, I'm also going to show you how do you automate this entire marketing process so it will produce new list subscribers, customers, and revenue for you 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, automatically allowing you to protect your lifestyle so that you're not on social media pounding away on the internet 12 hours a day, basically throwing mud against the wall, seeing if it'll stick. We are not going to be talking about that at all right? In addition to that, I'm going to show you which email service I use for the best delivery rates so that you can use them as well, and I have used them all. This is some unbelievably valuable resources, trust me, with lessons learned the hard way and a lot of money thrown down the drain to figure this out. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to create an incredibly rewarding business that will change the lives of your customers for the better and that will make you feel amazing about what you do every single day. All right, so with that being said, I have one more piece of housekeeping that we absolutely have to go over, and then we're going to dive into the training. So big question, first and foremost, is this for you? Is this webinar, is this training session for you? Is this business for you? Well, if you truly want to start a business, but you haven't been sure where to start or what to do, this is absolutely for you. If you have a huge problem in your life that you want to solve, or a huge passion that you'd love to turn into a business, this is definitely for you. If you want to learn how to quickly build a business that produces monthly income that could exceed your annual income, this is for you. If you want a simple business that you can run from your home or your local coffee shop and that doesn't require you to have an office or build a large team, this is absolutely for you. And if you want to build a huge following of hundreds of thousands of people and become a celebrity in your own niche and in your own passion, this is absolutely for you. Now, with those items being said, we do have some house rules, and this might not be for you if you're not in agreement with these, so these are important. Rule number one, I absolutely refuse to pander to anything that resembles or supports a get-rich-quick mentality. So if you are looking for some kind of do-nothing type of business that will magically make you rich, I'm absolutely sorry to say that you will certainly not find that here, frankly, nor anywhere else, because it does not exist. Second, I hate gimmicks. If you think that I'm going to show you some magic software that scrapes people's emails off of their websites or Facebook or anything that even remotely resembles that, you are going to be very disappointed, because I absolutely detest that type of thing and the people who use gimmicks like that. So what we're going to be talking about here is really turning your name and your reputation into a business with a huge following. And in order to be successful at that process over the long term, you have to approach your life and this business with a very strong sense of honesty and integrity. So if you don't have those things, then this isn't going to work out for you. It's just not. Building a huge following is a huge responsibility. What I'm going to teach you today is a real business. It requires real work, and it provides value for real people and real customers. And ultimately, the only way to get what you want in life is to help others get what they want. So if you don't have a sincere desire to help other people and deliver an incredible amount of value to others, this just isn't going to work out for you in the long run. It's just not. It's going to be a waste of your time and effort. So make sure that that is a trait that you have in you, is to go use your abilities to help other people. Now, finally, I have absolutely thrown some very big numbers at you here over the past few minutes. I've told you that I made my first $1 million in my 20s. I told you that my second company made $3.2 million in 7 days, and that my companies have produced over $50 million in revenue over the last 10 years. And I think it should be fairly obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. My results are not even remotely typical. It took me 6 years of failing over and over again before I ever made a single dime as an entrepreneur. I talk about that story all the time. So while I can teach you what I've done to build my list and my businesses and essentially give you the roadmap and show you what to do with it, The results that you get are completely up to you. And while I hope that you surpass my levels of success, as a handful of my students actually have, I'm not going to remotely suggest or claim that you're going to make a dime, okay? And frankly, at the end of the day, I think it's very safe to assume that the vast majority of people who watch or, training sessions like this or buy books or courses will never get any kind of results or make any money at all. And unfortunately, most people who buy into, programs like that on how to build a business or for whatever reason it may be, that's the same reason that they buy a treadmill, which will never get used. They want the end result, but at the end of the day, they're simply not willing to put in the work or the time and the mastery to make it happen, okay? So obviously here you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. And unfortunately, that's just a part of life in any aspect. That's why there's very few doctors in the world. It is the same challenge there as well. So if you're still with me after that little rant, let's dive in and get to work. All right, so step number 1, how to build an audience and an email list from scratch. So the first step to building a huge following and a list is to really understand the business model in the first place, because most people actually don't get it. So let's start there. And I want to use my friend Christina as an example. And I've known Christina since college, and today she's a full-time mom with 2 kids and has spent the past 2 years writing 2 books on parenting tips for new mothers, which are absolutely phenomenal. And now that her books are done, her primary goal has been to sell those books and to bring in some revenue, obviously. And I think most people, especially small business owners, would agree with that logic. You create a product or service and then you focus on selling it. But there's a reason that the average annual revenue for a small business in the US is only $44,000 per year. That's total gross revenue. That's not income. That's sales. And there's a reason why mine have made over $50 million in the past 10 years, over $5 million a year. So in the beginning of this process of becoming an entrepreneur, Christina thought her business was selling books, and most other entrepreneurs would feel the same way. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Her books are a product, but a product is never a business. Now, here's what I mean by that. Starbucks, as of this point in time, has over 23,000 locations in 63 different countries this year. Most people think that Starbucks is in the coffee business. Well, they're not. Coffee is their product, but their business is actually distribution and real estate. And those stores represent Starbucks' distribution channel. So television is a distribution channel. We've got YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of these entities are distribution channels. And yes, obviously, email is a huge distribution channel. So these are mediums in which marketing messages flow and goods are sold to the participating audience. So if Starbucks wants to sell more coffee, they must expand their channel by opening more stores. And without those stores, there is no business. Same with Chipotle, same with Walmart. All of these companies have figured out that their real business is their distribution channel through which goods and services are sold. So we need to remember that as well, as it is really the key to building a business that makes $400,000 in a week instead of one that makes $400, okay? Now, the miracle of building a business in the internet age is that it allows a single person like you or I to build a massive global virtual distribution channel with nothing more than a laptop. So get this, right now, there's about 400,000 people from around the world who subscribe to my email list. I have, in addition to that, the ability to reach out to 47,000 people on Twitter, over 14,000 on Facebook, 5,000 on YouTube, another 10,000 on iTunes with my podcast. So think for a moment and imagine how many stores I'd have to open in any given industry to get access to a total of 474,000 people who are interested in what I have to offer. Well, the average US Starbucks serves around 400 customers a day. So if you think about it, every time I send out an email and post a message on my social media channels, I have the same reach, little old me, as almost 1,200 Starbucks locations. And I'm just a 37-year-old dude sitting in front of my computer at my house, which is absolutely crazy to think about. It's unbelievable. So thanks to the internet, you and I, at the end of the day, have the opportunity to create our virtual distribution channel that spans the entire globe for next to nothing. Now, once you've started to build your list, and I'm going to show you obviously how to do that here in just a minute, you can start to sell products and services to your audience just like Starbucks sells coffee to theirs. Now, I want you to think about it. If you still don't believe that Starbucks is not in the coffee business, What would happen if you took away their distribution channel? What happened if you kept the coffee and you put it all in a big giant warehouse, wherever it's made, and you got rid of their distribution channel? What would happen to Starbucks as a business? It would go away. It would not be in business. So that's why they're not in the coffee business. They're in the distribution business. Now, on the other hand, if you kept all the stores and got rid of the coffee, well, obviously their business is going to decline, but you could switch out the entire distribution channel to a new product such as tea. And it might not be as big of a business, but it'll still be a business. So what we're after here is the distribution channel, and that's what I'm teaching you how to build here today. All right, so moving forward, there are two primary ways to generate sales and revenue with your list. First and foremost, you can create your own products, which is an extremely profitable thing to do. And these can either be physical products like boxes of tea. It can be digital products like ebooks, mastermind groups, live events, whatever you want. Personally, I've always been a huge fan of digital information products like ebooks or courses or membership websites, because they're essentially free to produce and have a profit margin, that's well over 90% in most cases. And a great example of this is actually when I started my first list in 2005, which consisted of entrepreneurs in the network marketing industry. I realized that I had an opportunity to create some courses on subjects like recruiting, personal confidence, and lead generation that would be extremely beneficial to my audience. These are all skill sets that they wanted to learn. So over the course of the next 7 years, I'd end up producing around 10 different courses on all of those different topics, which I then promoted to my email list. And the result was over $25 million in sales, which is just absolutely amazing. It's akin to turning your thoughts into money. It's just unbelievable when you can write down your thoughts on paper on the internet and exchange that for sales and for revenue. And so that is method number one. Method number two to generate revenue is to promote other people's products as an affiliate. So Amazon.com pioneered the concept of affiliate marketing nearly 20 years ago, and today is one of the most widely used sales strategies in the world. So here's a quick example personally of how you can make a significant amount of money when you have a list by simply promoting other people's products. So a few years ago, a gentleman by the name of Mark Ford launched a new investing newsletter. And Mark is an iconic entrepreneur and investor who has written a ton of best-selling books under the pen name Michael Masterson over the years. And he is definitely someone that I consider a mentor. So when he launched this new publication, I was absolutely one of the first to line up and buy it. So after a few months went by and I got to see how great the content was, I reached out to the company's CEO, Tom Dyson, and I asked him if I could promote their newsletter to my list. And they said yes, and they were willing to pay a commission on every sale that I made, or every referral, if you will. So during the course of a week, I sent out, in just 1 week, I sent out 4 emails promoting the newsletter to my subscribers on my email list. And as a result of those emails, I sold over 5,000 subscriptions, and I made over $419,000 in commissions in a single week, simply by telling my readers about an awesome product that I personally used and loved. So think about that. All I did was write 4 emails telling my list how much I loved the product and that I thought they'd benefit from it as well. And I made almost $500,000 of pure profit in a week. That is the power of having a list and a distribution channel. So how is that possible? What was the real reason that that campaign was so successful? Was it just because I had a list? Was that it? Well, the answer is actually no, and this is really important, so please make sure that you write this down. The number of people or the size of your list is, for the most part, irrelevant, okay? A list in and of itself is just a bunch of people's names and email addresses. A phone book is a list, but as far as we're concerned, that phone book has no value because there's no relationship with those people. They're just a bunch of random names. They don't know you, you don't know them. So the actual value of your list-based business is entirely dependent upon 2 things: the quality of the relationship that you have with the people on your list and the amount of trust that they have in you. This is why you can't go buy a list. There is no relationship. People buy from those that they trust. You can literally go into Google and type in buy list. You can buy a list of 1 million names for $100. Why is it so cheap? Because it is absolutely worthless, okay? There's no relationship and there's no trust. So the one and only reason that my readers purchased Mark's newsletter is because they trust me. They know that if I endorse something, it's because I truly believe in the product and that it's going to help them. So over the course of months and years, I've earned their trust and therefore the ability to ask for the sale. And this is why I can send out a few emails and make $3.2 million in a brand new industry in the span of 7 days. So if you want to have that same ability in your business, here are what I would consider some unbreakable rules that you need to live and run your business by. Write these down. Okay, so rule number 1, never trade the relationship and the trust that you have with your readers for money, ever. All right, this is also known as your reputation, and you only have one, and if you burn it, you ruin it. So make sure that you never, ever, ever trade trust or your relationship for money, okay? Rule number 2, always remember that you are in a position of leadership that is based on service. So if you wake up every day with the attitude that you're going to help the people on your list attain what they want in life to the best of your ability, you're going to do very, very, very well. Rule number 3, never promote a product or service that you haven't personally used. So if you're going to recommend something to them, make sure that you've gone through the entire purchase experience and the entire product yourself beforehand. If you wouldn't send your mother there, then don't send your list there. Very plain and simple. Make sure you go through their entire marketing funnel, see what the experience is like before you ever promote a product. And finally, rule number 4 is when you screw up, admit it. You're human, I'm human, we're going to make mistakes. When that happens, just be completely open, public, and transparent about it. This will actually strengthen the level of trust between you and your tribe, and they will forgive you for whatever happened because they'll value your honesty more than your mistake, but they won't forgive you if you lie to them and deceive them, okay? So don't worry about the mistake, worry about the honesty and the transparency because that's where the ultimate win is for you and for them. All right, so now that we know we want to build a list and where the value of a list actually comes from, let's go ahead and dive into the good stuff and let's start talking about how to actually build that list. Okay, so this brings us to step number 2, which is choosing your niche. Okay, so your list or your tribe is going to consist of people who share a common interest, passion, hobby, goal, or challenge. So the very first thing that we need to do is figure out which industry that we want to build our business in, or what topic do we want to build our business around and our list around. And that's one of the greatest aspects about this business model, which is that it can and it actually must be based on whatever you're most passionate about. Now, personally, my businesses and therefore my list that I've built have always been inspired by the biggest personal challenge that I've had at the time. So not necessarily a passion, but a challenge. Now, for example, my biggest business was inspired by the fact that I'd been in the network marketing industry and I hated the fact that I had to go sell things to my friends and family members and that I had to invite people to hotel meetings or that I had to buy expensive leads and twist people's arms into joining my opportunity. It just didn't feel good. So basically my problem was that I was in an industry that was based upon talking to people either in person or over the phone, and yet I'm very introverted and I really don't enjoy doing either of those. I don't enjoy talking to people all day long, in person or over the telephone, which meant that I had to come up with a solution to that problem or go back to the drawing board and throw away the last 5 years of my life. So I asked myself a question, which is, what if I could get 10 to 20 people to call me about my business every day or my product? What if they'd already gotten all the details before we spoke and they just had a question or two before they decided to buy? What if I could become the hunted instead of the hunter? Is that something that I would enjoy doing? And the answer was absolutely yes. It's not that I didn't mind talking to people. I didn't like selling people. It just wasn't enjoyable. So I started looking for a way to do that. And the solution came in the form of a book written by marketing legend Dan Kennedy called Magnetic Marketing. And the premise was very simple, and yet it changed my life forever. In the book, I learned that you can attract people and prospects to you, quote unquote, magnetically by teaching them, by educating them. So if you position yourself as a teacher and as a source of valuable information, then you will attract a crowd as any expert does in their field, just like I'm doing with you guys in this webinar, right? That's why you're here. So that's what I did, and it absolutely worked. I ended up using those principles to build my very first successful business in that industry for the first time. And I ended up then writing a training manual about what I was doing to give to my teammates, if you will, in my group and my team and other people in the industry. And I called it Magnetic Sponsoring. And I put up a list building page, or a capture page as it's also known, which gave away 7 free training videos on attraction marketing. And this is a picture of that page here that I lovingly taught myself how to build by hand, with HTML for Dummies or, a book and course like that back in the early 2000s. And I wrote all of the copy myself, and I made the little website. And that was the beginning of that business and a list that would go on to grow to over 200,000 people. All right. So that was the start of my careers based on that challenge. Now, my next company was inspired by the fact that I had absolutely no idea how to invest the money that my business was making, and I couldn't find any truly wealthy role models to learn from. So I turned that pain and that challenge into a second business and a new list, which went on to grow to more than 400,000 people in the next, I'd say, 24 to 36 months. So right now, I want you to think about what your biggest problem is, your biggest passion, your biggest challenge, your biggest area of expertise. What do you want to build a business around? This is your opportunity of freedom to really pursue the life that you want to pursue, okay? So what would give you energy when you wake up every single morning? What do you want to work on? And I want you to first and foremost understand that opportunity is literally everywhere, and your options are literally endless. If there's a group of people who share a passion, a problem, or an interest, that's all you need. You can build a business there. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. My friend Grayson Goff. Grayson is a professional paintball player here in Austin who's won the world championships about 2 years ago. And obviously, he has a lot of passion and expertise for the sport. So he decided to turn that into a business called bkipaintball.com, where he sells training videos and coaching sessions. Then there's my friend Kurt, who's built a list of more than 45,000 entrepreneurs over the last year or two who are interested in learning how to advertise on Facebook. And that little list of 45,000 people has gone on to produce more than $1 million in revenue over the last year or two. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can build a business around any of these topics: cooking, yoga, fishing, collecting toys, martial arts, fashion. Huge fashion blogs out there right now, and distribution channels on YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest for fashion, where young girls in their teens and 20s are making literally millions of dollars. Collecting toys, gardening, boating, video games is a huge growing niche right now. Literally anything that you're passionate about, you can build a business around, okay? So take your time and think about what that would be for you, and make sure you really understand it, because that's what you're going to be building a business around for the next couple of years. All right, cool. So once you've got an idea about that, or at least you've got the wheels spinning in your head about your potential niche, let's dive into how you actually build your list like a marketing professional, which is a key part of that title. Okay, so in order to build your list, you're going to need 4 things. And during this section, I'm going to give you some resources. Please don't worry about checking them out now. This is the most important part of today's webinar. I don't want you to get lost going off and looking at other websites when I give you these resources, because you're gonna miss the good stuff, okay? I will give you a email after the webinar today with a list of these resources and links so that you'll have them available to you, and you can pay attention right now as we go through the actual training. Okay, so first and foremost, you need traffic, and we're gonna dive into that here in a minute. Second, you need a capture page or a landing page. And this is a very simple one-page website that requires your visitors to subscribe to your list by entering their email address in exchange for something of value in return. And that could be a free series of training emails, a free ebook, a free audio or video of some kind, a free PDF report, whatever it may be. You want to give them something for free that has a lot of value in exchange for that email address and for subscribing to your list. So a great example of that is this page. This is a capture page that I use right now to get list subscribers for my mentoring program. And so in exchange for subscribing to my list, I'm going to give that person a series of 7 free videos that contain some of the most valuable lessons that I've learned over the past 10 years within my career as an entrepreneur. Now, what's really cool these days is that there is an amazing service that you can use called leadpages.net that will actually let you create your very own capture pages using customizable templates that are proven to work. They give you the conversion rate numbers and that require 0 technical skills. It's literally drag and drop, and within 60 seconds, you can actually have your very own capture page complete and done. It's absolutely amazing. There's no need for code. If you're not a computer expert, totally doesn't matter. If you can type on your keyboard and drag an image onto your desktop, you can create a capture page in literally less than a minute. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, the third item that we need is an email autoresponder service. Now, this is the actual service where all of your email addresses from your subscribers are, 1, securely stored, and that you will use to send out personalized emails to the thousands of people who are on your list at once. So the emails that you got from me leading up to this webinar, getting you ready for it, confirming your registration, all of that stuff all come from an email autoresponder service. I'm obviously not sitting there typing, those emails away to everybody personally all day long. So I've used almost every major email service provider in the industry over the years, and the one that I'm using today is absolutely my favorite. It's called MailChimp.com, and it is the easiest autoresponder service that I've ever used, and you can set an account up for as little as $10 per month. So all of the emails that you've gotten, from me, if you're on my list or if you subscribe to the Self-Made Man podcast, whatever it may be, if you get an email from me, it's coming from my MailChimp account. And one of the biggest, pieces of the email puzzle is delivery rates. Are your emails actually getting delivered? Are they going to the spam or junk folder? What's happening to your emails when you send them out? So I actually tested delivery with a third-party service called Mail Monitor. The website is mailmonitorapp.com. And again, they're completely unrelated. And you can go out and test the actual delivery rates of any email autoresponder service out there in the world to find out what it's really doing. And as you can see here, my emails were successfully delivered to my readers' inboxes instead of the spam box, which is really what matters most, 100% of the time for all of the major providers. Unbelievably valuable. And so I've been really happy with MailChimp, and that is who I use today. All right, and the final thing, the fourth thing that you need to build your list is money. And the more money you have, the better. So if you want to build a large list and you want to do it quickly, you're going to need cash. That's simply the reality of doing business. And I can hear the collective groans and moans out there because of what I'm saying, but hold on, stick with me before you jump to any kind of conclusions or just, say, well, I guess that counts me out. And exclude yourself for building the business of your dreams and changing your life because you don't have a lot of money right now. Hang in there with me because I've got you covered, okay? Remember, when I first started building my list, I was completely broke and waiting tables. So I promise you, I do have an extremely effective solution for you that will solve the money issue, but nonetheless, it is a requirement, all right? We're just gonna go about getting that money in a very unique and effective way. So with that being said, let's circle back and let's go into more detail with step number one or item number one and the beginning of this process, which is traffic. Now, obviously, one of the biggest challenges most people have when it comes to building a list is getting traffic, or in other words, lots and lots of people to come to their website, to come to that capture page so that they can get that email address. Now, when it comes to getting traffic and building a list, there's the amateur way and then there is the professional way. So amateurs try to build their list using traffic strategies which require an incredible amount of time and effort, but that produce little to no results 99% of the time. This usually consists of activities like making 20 to 30 posts a day on social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, posting on forums, or writing articles and blog posts that no one will ever find or read. All right, it is a very long, grueling battle that might result in 1 or 2 new list subscribers per day. So in other words, it's not going to work. And if this is what you're doing, well, you probably know that already, and you know that you're wasting your time. Now, on the other hand, if you approach the list building process like a marketing professional, absolutely amazing things are possible. And in fact, my investing newsletter generated up to 1,800 list subscribers per day, or over 20,000 new subscribers in a single month. You can see here, these are our number of daily new subscribers, over 1,800. And it looks like we average right here about 800 or 900 new subscribers per day. And within 2 years, we had built a list of more than 400,000 active readers. So here is how that is done. Make sure you have a pen and paper handy, okay? So remember your capture page, the landing page that we talked about, and this is an example of one here from Lead Pages as well. Obviously, this is just an example screenshot that I took. And when you click on this button, a little window pops up that says, please enter your name and email address so people can subscribe to your list. Well, a great page will have a conversion rate of about 30%. So that means that for every 100 people who visit your website, 30 of them will opt into your email list. And that means you have a 30% conversion rate. So let's do the math and start to look at a few examples. Now, if your website gets 100 visitors per day, that's 30 new email list subscribers every single day. Hey, that's not bad. That's about 900 per month, or about 11,000 subscribers per year. You know, it's not great, but man, you could definitely make a multiple 5-figure income with that, I'd say, gosh, $30,000 to $80,000 a year with a list of about 11,000 people. Well, let's keep going. If your website gets 500 visitors per day at a 30% conversion rate, you're up to 150 new subscribers per day, 4,500 per month, and 54,000 subscribers per year, which is getting awesome. So that's pretty exciting, but what if we doubled that and we got to 1,000 visitors per day at a 30% conversion rate? That's 300 new subscribers per day, 9,000 per month, 108,000 per year. Those are numbers that you can start to get excited about. Those are numbers that can literally change your financial situation and your life forever. And just to give you an idea of what a list of 108,000 people would be worth in my personal experience, if you're focused on building a relationship of trust with those readers, and if you're focused on constantly delivering value to them, that's worth between $1 and $5 million a year in revenue to you. You know, that's really what we're talking about here. So the question becomes, how do you get 1,000 visitors per day to your website? Well, it's simple. We do what every other real company in the world does. We buy it. We buy the traffic. Okay, we spend the money on advertising. That's how you do it. So instead of just posting a link, you know, to your capture page on Facebook and hoping someone's going to subscribe, let's say that you start using their advertising platform instead, so that your ads start to appear in the feeds of your ideal target audience. And let's say, as an example, that you spend $100 to test an ad which sends people to your capture page. That test ad produces 20 new email subscribers, which means on average that it costs you $5 per subscriber, okay, or CPL, or cost per lead in this example. So you spend $100 on a Facebook ad test and you get 20 new email subscribers. All right, that's a $5 per lead cost. Now, if you did that every day for an entire month, you'd have around 600 new list subscribers, but you'd have spent $3,000 to acquire them. That's, you know, a good start, but it's not going to work very well. You're going to go broke if you haven't gone broke already. So it's not going to work in the long run. The solution to this problem is called a self-liquidating offer, or an SLO for short. Now, this is usually a digital product of some kind that we can offer to our new list subscribers immediately, the moment that they sign up for our free email list. Now, for example, when I started selling magnetic sponsoring online 10 years ago, I gave away that free 7-day attraction marketing bootcamp series to people who subscribed to my list. And the moment that they opted in and gave me their email address, they were then taken to a sales page for the full magnetic sponsoring ebook, which sold for $39. And this is actually a screenshot of the very bottom of the page where I had the order button and the credit card and all of that good stuff for you right here so that you could see it. And so here's what this allowed me to do, and here's what this is going to allow you to do. Every day, you spend $100 on your Facebook ad campaign, and in return, you acquire 20 new email list subscribers. Now, when those 20 subscribers join your list, they're offered a chance to buy, let's say, an ebook for $40. So out of every 20 subscribers, 3 of them are going to, on average, buy your book. So $40 times 3 customers equals $120 in sales. Now, I don't know if you realized what just happened there, but it's a pretty big freaking deal. Congratulations, you are officially financially free. This is the key to the kingdom. This is how it works. This is the key to everything, okay? So you've spent $100, and for that $100, you've gotten 20 new list subscribers, 3 new customers, and you've generated $120 in revenue, which gives you a $20 profit, which means you are free, okay? So not only are your leads free at this point, you've gotten an extra 20 bucks in your pocket at the end of the day. All right, so now the rules of the game have changed completely, because when you spend money, you are now making money, okay? So what if you started spending more? What if you started spending $1,000 per day on advertising instead of 100? Well, you'd have 200 new list subscribers, 30 new customers, and $1,200 in revenue, giving you a $200 profit. All right, so if we add those numbers up for each month, that's 6,000 new list subscribers per month. If you're spending $1,000 a day on ads, you're getting 900 new customers a month, and you're getting $36,000 in revenue per month, which means you're making a $6,000 profit, and everything else is essentially paid for. This is what a real campaign looks like, guys. This is how marketing professionals build massive lists within months instead of years. This is how you can make money without having to use your money, because your customers are essentially funding the campaign. So hopefully this has started to light up a few ideas in your mind, but so far this has really all just been theory. So what I want to do now is show you how I used the same process last year to launch a simple lifestyle business in less than 30 days that went on to produce over $80,000 per month in passive income, all right? So last year, I decided to hand over control of my financial education company to my business partner, Robert, so that I could begin work on the development of the hydroponic system that I mentioned earlier. And I have to tell you, the cost of developing the prototype has been substantial. And in fact, the price is going to exceed well over $1 million. So I still needed a simple, profitable business that, one, would not take up a lot of my time, and two, still produce enough revenue to pay my bills and for the development of the hydroponic system. So my goal was to create a business that could produce at least $80,000 per month in profit. But there was a huge problem still standing in my way. It's one thing to build a list at a break-even cost with a self-liquidating offer, but if you want to build a list and make a substantial profit each month, you need 3 product offers. So I want you to write this down, because this is taking your business now to the next level. This is not just building a list for free. This is about building a list for free and making $1 million on top of that, all right? At least in my examples. So to build a really stable and profitable business while you grow your list, here's what you're gonna need. First, you need a capture page, which we've already shown you and discussed. Second, you need an extremely high-value front-end product that's as inexpensive as possible. This product is not designed to make money. It's designed to turn a stranger into a paying customer for the very first time, and ideally, a lifelong fan moving forward. The single most difficult job that you and I have as entrepreneurs is getting a new person to pull out their credit card and do business with us for the very first time. So this product is designed to deliver so much value and at such a low price that they can't walk away. They have to buy it. They would feel dumb if they didn't buy it. All right, so that's the point of a front-end product. The third thing that you need is at least one back-end product that's priced anywhere from $197 to $497, which is kind of the sweet spot. And that's going to allow you to cover your advertising costs. The majority of the money that is produced by the sale of this product will be put back into advertising campaigns and to cover your business's overhead, okay? So this is the money that fuels the advertising engine, if you will. And finally, the fourth thing that you need is monthly continuity income. This is passive income that comes in each and every month from a subscription service of some kind. That could be a monthly newsletter, that could be a mentoring program, a membership website, whatever it may be. And in the past, I've charged anywhere from $29 a month up to $97 a month for mine. And what this does is it adds revenue stability to your business. Without it, you're forced to constantly acquire new customers each and every month forever to fund your business and to make a profit. So this revenue can be considered 100% profit because you've already acquired the customer, and it's just going to continue to come in and month out as long as they subscribe to your service, all right? So these are the minimum components that are required, the minimum 3 products, if you will, the front end, the back end, and the monthly continuity to create a well-rounded, stable, and profitable business. But holy smokes, that's a lot of work. You have to create a front-end product, you have to create a back-end product, and you have to create a monthly continuity program. There's no way that I could, let alone you guys, do all of this in 30 to 90 days. And even if you tried to do it, it would cost a few $1,000s minimum in programming fees and website development and fulfillment and all of that stuff. Not to mention the fact that you can kiss that lifestyle business dream of yours absolutely goodbye, all right? Well, this was the exact same position that I found myself in a year ago. I needed to start a new business. That business needed all 3 of these components in order for it to be, profitable and to produce the kind of profit that I needed it to. And yet I didn't have the time to create this stuff, all right? Good thing is, necessity is the mother of all invention. So what I'm about to show you now is the most elegant business model that I have ever seen or personally used. If I were you, and if I was going to start a brand new business from scratch today, this is exactly what I would do, and it's what I did. So definitely pay attention to this. It's going to change the game for you. Now, my biggest source of personal value and expertise in the world is in entrepreneurship, and it's in online marketing. It's what I've done for the last 10 years of my life, and I'm one of the best in the world at it. So offering that knowledge and experience to others was the biggest source of value that I had to contribute and to offer to the world as a product or a service. So I decided to start a mentoring program for new entrepreneurs, in this particular case study and example, called Live Free and Prosper, or as we called it at that time, LFP for short. And my goal with LFP was very simple. I was going to give my students the ability to ask me anything they wanted about their business, have me critique their websites, provide feedback on their business model, their pricing, their traffic, absolutely anything. And I was going to record my answers via video for everyone in that group to watch and to learn from. Okay, so that was the product, that was the service. Here's how I turned it into the business that I needed. I decided to create and sell access to a private community called LFP. And that community took literally 30 seconds to create, and it was completely free. All I did was head over to my Google profile and create a private community. And you can do literally the same thing on Facebook using a private Facebook group or in Google. Either way, you end up with a completely free and private membership community in less than 30 seconds. So the community was the product. And I have to say, it was an extremely, extremely valuable one, much more valuable than a simple ebook or a course. This is where I would post my training content, answer questions from students, and where they could also interact and help each other. So at the end of the day, your customers, they obviously share a common interest. That's why they're with you. They share a common passion and they share common goals. They are a tribe, and every tribe needs a place where they can gather. They need a community. So this community idea was really, I realized, the perfect solution for that. And the result is a much more fulfilling, much more interactive and valuable experience that is not only for you, but for your members as well, because they get to interact with everybody else and start to build friends and help each other. So that was part number one to the solution. Now, obviously, I need a front-end product, something that had incredible value and that was at a price that could not be refused. So what I did was create a sales video that told people all about LFP and then offer them the opportunity to try it out completely risk-free for 7 days for $1. They would literally get access to the entire community and all of the training content that I've already posted in there for $1. And if it exceeded their expectations and they didn't want to cancel their membership, they would be billed $37 on day 8 and continue at $37 per month until they decided to cancel. So I've taken one product and I've used a pricing strategy to check the boxes for, first, an irresistible offer on the front end and a monthly continuity program. You can see how I've already checked both of those boxes here with just a pricing strategy. That left me with one box left to check, which was a back-end product. Again, that was priced anywhere from $197 to $497. So here's what I did next. If someone stayed for an entire year at $37 per month, their membership would cost them a total of $444. So once they entered their payment information and confirmed their purchase of the $1 trial for 7 days, they were taken to a page which gave them a one-time offer. So if they would commit to joining the LFP mentoring program for a full year, they could do so right now for one single payment of $297, which represented a savings of 33%. So let's summarize this really quick because it's nothing short of revolutionary in my opinion. We've created a complete 3-part business model, which would normally take us 6 to 12 months to build, and we did it for free in a single day. All right? I would provide my time and expertise to my students in the form of a weekly video, which takes me about 3 hours to record, edit, and upload to YouTube, which means from a lifestyle perspective, that's amazing. It leaves me plenty of time to go work on my hydroponics business and everything else that I was doing. And I didn't have to write an ebook. I didn't have to record a DVD series. I didn't have to build an expensive website or spend months writing a 500-page back-end course. The testimonials that were sent in from the initial batch of members were the best that I've ever received because people felt that they were a part of a real community, and the value, frankly, was amazing. And I was able to take that one product and create a total 3-part business model with all the pieces, a low-cost front end, a monthly continuity income, and a back-end piece of revenue by simply offering it at 3 different price points. So that leaves us with the most important question that there is today, which is, did it work? Well, let's take a look at the actual numbers. So when you start a new advertising campaign, it's important to start slowly to test its effectiveness. So for about 7 to 10 days, we were spending $100 to $200 per day to see what our conversion rates would be. Once we saw that they were profitable, we started to crank that Facebook ad campaign up as high as we could. And the numbers that I'm about to show you are for a 7-day period from February 19th through February 26th of last year. All of these stats and sales are from my Facebook advertising campaign, and none of these sales came from my existing list. That's very important. I'm using this example for this reason. You most likely don't have a list right now, okay? So this is not really relevant to you if it's me promoting something to my list when you don't have a list. So I want you to pay attention to this example because this whole campaign was done without using my existing list. It was done using cold Facebook ad traffic, just like you can start using next week, okay? So like I said, we started small. We started spending about $100 per day testing conversion rates. It was positive, so we started to turn it up. Here's what happened. During the campaign, we spent a total of $24,551 in a 7-day period. That's what we spent on ads. Now, what did we get for that spend? Well, we got 2,737 new list subscribers and 760 new customers. Out of those 760 customers, 128 of them, about 17%, took the annual upsell option for $297, which produced an immediate return of $38,016 immediately in those first 7 days, okay? So that means I created 632 monthly subscribers at $37 per month moving forward. That represents $24,016 in monthly passive income, which would start at the end of that week on the 8th day of their trial, okay? So that means that we spent $24,500 on advertising. We made $38,000 immediately on the annual memberships, giving us a profit that week of $13,465. That's in a week, that's not in a month. And a new monthly income of $24,000 per month moving forward. Remember, these stats are just from the first 7 days of the ad campaign. So what happened after that? Well, by the 3rd month of the business, we'd acquired over 2,248 monthly members, and my monthly passive income had increased to over $85,000 per month. Annually, that's over $1 million in passive income. And all I have to do is work about 3 to 5 hours per week, guys. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do it. This is how you build a large list quickly. This is how you get paid to do it in the process instead of spending money out of your pocket. This is how you change your financial destiny within 2 to 3 months instead of 2 to 3 years. And this is how you provide an incredible amount of value to the marketplace all at the same time in the simplest business that I've ever seen or come across before. So what I've just shown you is the exact same system and strategy that I've used time and time again to turn my biggest problems and passions into the ultimate lifestyle business. And as you can see, it is not rocket science, but boy, is it effective, all right? This is the simplest, the easiest, the fastest way that I know of to build a large list and a profitable business that I've ever seen in my 10-year career as an entrepreneur. And obviously you can see that it works really, really well. So in order to achieve financial freedom in your life, you need to build a list. I hope that's obvious by now. And in order to build a large list quickly, you need to buy traffic and the attention of people out there in the world by spending money on advertising. The best way to buy advertising is to let your customers fund the campaign by offering them a valuable product or service. And the fastest and easiest high-value product that I have ever seen is access to a private paid community where you can deliver your value, your interaction, and help your tribe and have fun all in one place. So